Hey everybody, and welcome to another 1989Batman.com merchandise spotlight. Today we're taking a look at another figure in Mattel's DC Comics Multiverse 4-inch line, and that is the Batman Unmasked variant. Now before we get into the review, I just want to say again, thank you to Mattel for being so kind to send over review samples this time around for this line. It was very nice of you guys. They even sent extras for us to do some giveaways with. So keep an eye on the YouTube channel, the Facebook page for the 1989 Batman film, and 1989batman.com for those giveaways. But for now, let's talk about this figure. We've already tackled Batman, and a lot of the stuff is going to be the same on this figure, so I'm sorry if it gets repetitive. We'll try to just focus on what's new, but there might be some little bleed over as to what we talked about before. Packaging, we've got the same as before with the red and orange and yellow motif that carries over from Mattel's DC Universe Classics line, that kind of color scheme. I do like that it's kind of showing that all the Mattel DC stuff kind of goes together. We've got the 89 Batman logo there, and the Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne image here, which gives it some more dedicated look to the front of the packaging. I really enjoy that. I like when packaging isn't just the same thing over and over again. A little blurb down here that says Batman Unmasked variant. It's a picture of Bruce Wayne, but the figure itself is an unmasked Batman. This does not appear in 89 Batman. It's actually in Batman Returns that he takes off the mask, and he's got the cowl off with the suit. But since there isn't a Batman Returns figure, I think they try to work that idea into this first wave. Now, the case that I saw, the case of 12 figures, there was only one of this in the case. Now, this was the assortment that had Zod, Batman, Batman Unmasked, and Penguin. The heavy pack was Batman, and I think it was maybe 3 apiece on Zod and Penguin, but there was only one of this, so it truly was like a variant. There's only one in there. The carded figure is the same. It's got him sitting there with the gun off to the side. We've got the blurbs, highly detailed and authentic, and adult collector. Again, I wish they wouldn't put that on there. I wish it was just a figure to be a toy, but that's just my opinion. The back of the package features that same shot of Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, the Batman logo from 89, a small blurb about the DC Comics Multiverse, which I will read for you very quickly. DC Comics Multiverse figures are inspired by comic-based, character-rich entertainment sources, such as movies and video games. These figures are meticulously designed to be truly authentic, celebrating the many universes of entertaining DC Comics material. This time around, we've got a picture of Zod, Mr. Freeze, and the regular Batman on the back. The blurb about Batman here says, real name Bruce Wayne, occupation billionaire industrialist, high-tech gear, grapple gun, bolo launcher, Batmobile, villain the Joker. Alright, there's him one more time carded from the front before we take a look at the loose version. Alright, so we've got the unmasked Batman out of the box now. Let's take a look at him and see what changes have been made. I bet you can't guess. Alright, the only change that's been made is the head. But let's talk about the figure in case you haven't watched the other review. He includes one accessory, and that is his grapple gun. It actually has a painted tip on it for the spear/grapple attachment. The handle is a bit longer than what is in the movie, but I guess that's to facilitate him holding it a little bit better. If it had a tiny little handle on it, it might fall out of his hand quite a bit, so they made the handle a bit longer than it was before. Sculpt-wise, it's actually kind of nice other than that. It's got a lot of detail for such a tiny little accessory. Articulation-wise, we've got a standard hinged knee, and then we've got a slight swivel right above the knee joint. And then we've got a hip that swings out and then up and down. He's got a waist joint that swivels back and forth. He's got swivel wrists, hinged elbows, a shoulder that swivels out and up and down, and then a slightly ball-jointed neck, but it's not really ball-jointed. It kind of just swivels side to side. Even though when you pop it off, there is a ball underneath there, it doesn't really move like a ball joint. Paintwork on this one, he's got a painted belt that has a nice gold meets yellow decision here. There's a lot of debate back and forth on the yellow versus gold belt. Their solution is to have sort of a gold outline with a yellow inside, and it gives that gold sheen while not fully being painted gold and not fully being yellow. I think really somebody was thinking when they made this belt. They went, okay, do we do yellow, do we do gold? And they came up with a nice compromise that gives it a gold sheen while still maintaining a yellow sheen for the yellow party and gold for the gold party. So there you go. The symbol is the other place where the paintwork is. And it is kind of tough to find a really nice, clean symbol on these. But you have to keep in mind that this is really, really tiny. Here's my fingernail next to it. It's smaller than my pinky nail. And it is a sculpted symbol, and it's right. It's a correct logo. As much as I love the old Kenner line, let me get one of these guys next to it, that was just a painted symbol, and it wasn't accurate to the film. Whereas this actually is accurate to the film in the way the symbol is made. The cape, we already talked about this a bit on the other review, but I want to say again that this cape, for my money, is one of the nicest that's been done in the 4-inch scale. It's got this nice pleathery texture on the outside and a softer material look to the inside. You can do the cape over the shoulders look. It's just really well done for this kind of scale. The sculpt of the armor, I think, is also really super nice. They got the detailing on the boots, the knees, the belt. The armor actually looks like the armor from the film. You can see the lines where it, connects to the bodysuit underneath. Same on the arms. The gauntlet armor's there. I do have to say something real quick on this gauntlet armor. On the last review, I talked about how the arms were switched. Well, my loose version of Michael Keaton's Unmasked Batman actually had 2 of the same forearm. So I had bought this extra Batman to customize his head to try out, and I ended up having to use that extra, or use his forearm to make this correct. So that was a little bit disappointing. I have noticed more and more correct ones as I've hit the stores. So it may be something that they've already caught and they're already fixing. But it is something to watch out for. Make sure your forearms are right. Those 2 lines should be on the outside of the forearm armor. If they're on the inside, make sure that you have two different ones, that they're both on the inside or that they're both on the outside. If they're both on the inside, it's just a matter of boiling some water, popping it apart, switching them out, that kind of stuff. If you have 2 of the same thing, you're kind of out of luck, and I would probably pass on that one and pick up a different one. It's just really something you got to keep an eye out for. The other QC thing to watch out for is these eyes. Sometimes they're painted kind of large and all over the place. It's a small paint app to get in there. This time they are blue, for anybody who was curious. It's something to look out for, and it's really, it makes or breaks the face. Those larger eyes can sometimes be pretty rough. As far as that head sculpt goes, that is the one new thing on this figure. You've got a Michael Keaton head this time around. We already talked about in the opening sequence about why they did this, trying to sort of do the Batman Returns thing without having a Batman Returns armor. The head sculpt is not the best. It's a smaller scale than the Kenner figure, but the Kenner figure is much older, and I still think it has a better Keaton head sculpt than this one does. You can probably make that out. If you can't see the pictures of this very well in the video, and you're watching this on YouTube, you can hit the info section, and it'll take you to a link with still pictures, comparison pictures, and that kind of stuff. I do see some Keaton likeness in here. I think it's really the fact that this sort of lighter skin tone, you're losing a lot of the detail that could have been shown more had this been a painted head instead of one molded in flesh tone. This is kind of a novelty piece, and it is a variation, so it's not like it's so detrimental that this is maybe not the best head sculpt, and that this is really more of oh, cool, I'm going to grab that because it's the only one here, or something like that. It's kind of a shame, though, that both the Batman and the Bruce Wayne have the lesser head sculpts, whereas the Penguin head sculpt is really, really nice. That being said, though, it is kind of cool to have this figure sitting at the Batcave, playset from Kenner, or even the one from Toy Biz or something like that, and have a sort of an imaginary scene where he's got the mask off. Alright, we just showed him next to a Dark Knight figure. Here he is next to Penguin. Let's put those 2 together. So, there you go. Let's take one to the couch and we'll give our final thoughts on this guy.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have said that.
Yeah, I really should have.
Alright. Oh! Hey guys! So, as you can see from the opening sequence, this time around we're taking a look at the Unmasked Batman variant from the DC Comics Multiverse line. The couch portion is where we just kind of give our final thoughts on the figure, what we think about it, the line, ramble, that kind of stuff. This is Blaze, my 11-year-old son.
In case you haven't been watching.
In case you haven't been watching, I'm James, also known as the dad. And back there is Keaton, who is the 7-year-old.
Otherwise known as the other son.
Oh, otherwise known as the son that stays behind the couch most of the time and reads comic books.
He pops up and says hi.
Every once in a while. Alright, so we've talked about the packaging before, so this might get monotonous and kind of repetitive. But we both really like
Right.
it. We both love that there's a dedicated picture for you to
Yeah.
flip through the pegs and see. This time around, it's Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Since, in Batman, well, this is kind of tackling what we're talking about with the figures, so we might as well
Right.
say it now. It's a picture of Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and not an unmasked Batman.
Yeah.
They could have used an image from Batman Returns
Exactly.
with the mask torn off, but I understand why they didn't,
Or
because this is not a Batman
Right.
Returns
I
figure.
like him sitting in the cave that one time, too.
Well, even then he didn't have the suit on, though.
I thought he did because he was taking off the gloves and he was calling Alfred.
Oh, he didn't have the mask off.
Right. Oh, he didn't.
No.
Oh, right. That's just the
You remember he
gloves.
got hurt? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought,
He took off a glove, but he didn't have his mask off.
For some reason, I thought he took the mask off.
Yeah. So and even then he wouldn't have that cowl piece
Right.
still. This is very much Batman Returns, where he's torn the mask off,
Yeah.
and most of the neck of the cowl is still there.
Mhm.
So that's what they were going with here, and I think what they were doing was, it was a cool way to put out a variation,
Mhm.
reusing a body and just using a new head to make a
Right.
sort of a chase figure type of thing,
Mhm.
and sort of playing off that Batman Returns thing. I don't know if they know ahead of time that, hey, are we going to get to a Batman Returns Batman? We might not. Here's a way to put this out. And then if it comes down the line and they do a Batman Returns Batman, you've got a Michael Keaton head of the Multiverse line that you could pop off and put on the Batman Returns Batman.
It'd be cool. Wave 2 of the movie figures.
I think it'd be really neat. You could get like a battle damaged Catwoman,
Right.
Batman Returns Batman, a different version of Penguin, which may be why they did that rubbery piece. We talked about that rubbery piece a little bit on the opening. They could do a different outfit
They might
on
be able
Penguin.
to do a Lex Luthor or...
Lex Luthor, maybe one of the other Kryptonian villains.
Right, darker Superman for evil Superman.
Yeah, I don't foresee the third wave being more classic movie stuff, but maybe on down the line,
Right.
eventually they'll get
They
to
haven't
it.
said anything yet for a third
Yeah,
wave.
who knows? Now, we've talked about the figure itself and the articulation of the sculpt and things like that, and I don't want to get too repetitive with it.
Right.
So let's really just kind of focus on this Michael Keaton head.
Okay.
It's a matter of finding one with good paint, that's for sure, because some of the eyes can get a little wonky.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not the best Michael Keaton head sculpt.
Yep.
But it's a 4-inch line.
You don't have really a lot to work with on that tiny little head.
It's a small scale. It
Yeah.
really is. And so, even though, Hasbro has put out some really nice head sculpts in the G.I. Joe line.
Right, and, never mind, I'm thinking of something else.
Okay.
When you said Hasbro, I was thinking about Hasbro owning Kidder, going back to the
Oh, yeah,
other
yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Keaton, but
Yeah, the
it's
old Michael Keaton, I think, is really
Yeah.
strong. It's a very strong head
It's a bigger
sculpt.
scale, too, though.
Yeah, and I like the plastic they use better. I think you could see more of the detail in the
Yeah.
sculpt, whereas this one has sort of a milky tone to it,
Mhm.
and you lose a lot of the detail that was in
Yeah.
the sculpt before. Plus, the way it mounts to the body, it kind of distorts the head sculpt a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not making excuses, or at least I'm trying not to make excuses. I'm just trying to explain, the differences in toy manufacturing and what could improve the sculpt and what couldn't.
Right.
I'm not saying this is a great head sculpt. It's not. But it is a neat idea what they did.
Plus, you're getting a 1989 Michael Keaton Batman.
Exactly, and it's something that will look cool in front of the Batcave.
Right.
It's a neat idea. There's not been many Batmans that have been released where it has the Bruce Wayne with the mask off. I'm trying to think of other lines where they've done that. I think Mattel did one as a con exclusive where he had the mask
They
off.
did a bunch of them in Batman Animated, but they're not really good quality.
Well, no, I'm talking about full-on Batsuit with the mask off.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like as if he's just chilling in the Batcave or something like that.
Mhm.
They did like a DC, I think DC directed an unmasked version with the suit on.
Right.
The cat's playing on the Batman Forever playset, which is kind of cool. So there hasn't been a lot where that's happened. So this is kind of a neat idea for them to do as a variation, just to do as, if you find one, hey, that's cool, but it's not heavy packed in the case. It's something you don't desperately need for the line, but it is kind of a neat kind of thing where you go, oh, that's cool. It's Batman relaxing in the Batcave or something like that. So it's cool. I like it. As a Batman '89 fan, I'm definitely buying it. The cat's knocking over the Batcave.
She's helping Bane destroy the Batcave.
Yeah. All right, so definitely not a necessity, but still something I think is cool. I really like Batman chilling in the Batcave with the mask off. Or that scene from Batman Returns where he tears the mask off. Both are cool to me. And the figure itself, the body, like we said before, I really like the body.
Yeah, it's dead on the armor.
I love the way it moves and the scale and everything about it. And the cape is fantastic. It's fantastic this time around again, too. Especially for a $10 mass market toy. Which you guys really have to remind yourself that it's not Hot Toys, okay? Guys.
You want to pay $200 for one?
It's not Hot Toys.
Well, actually, you're paying like $500 if you want to buy a 1999.
Oh yeah, they're expensive now.
Just buy.
It's not even a $90 toy. It's not a $30 toy. This is
Not
a mass
20.
market $9 toy.
It's not $15 if you're not shopping at.
Yeah, if you're not
Toys R Us.
shopping at Toys R Us, Toys R Us is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, please keep that in mind. It's just a toy. All right. All right. So we're gonna sign off on this one, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.